Tea time. I know you saw this video that this woman posted of finding her husband at the airport with his mistress. Well, this is how it went down. Well, he was away on business in Europe. Apparently, he had a speaking engagement. And on the day he was supposed to arrive back, she decided, so, you know, a wife, I'm going to make something special for him for dinner tonight so we can go over his trip. But she didn't know what time his flight was supposed to come in. So she called the airport up like, hey, I got flight so-and-so and so. Can you tell me what time it lands? And the man's like, well, can I get a name? And she's like, what do you need a name for? Just tell me what time it lands. And he's like, I need a name. And she's like, what? Why is she asking for a name? But then when she told him, he said, oh, he and Miss So-and-so landed about 25 minutes ago. She said, what? Miss, what? You must be mistaken. I'm just asking about him. And he's like, he and Miss So-and-so landed about 25 minutes ago. And she was like, huh? Hung up the phone. Immediately he calls, oh, baby, I'm here. I missed you. I can't wait to see you. This trip was crazy. I worked so hard, baby. I'm be home in a minute. She's like, she's freaking out. She don't really know what to do. Like, she don't want to jump to conclusions. So when he comes home, she asks him, like, what is this name? And then he was like, I don't know. I never heard that name before in my life. And she was like, are you sure? He's like, nah, no big deal. It's nothing happening. They go to bed. She said he over there sleeping soundly like a bear in hibernation, and she's freaking out. She getting a headache, a massive headache. She thinking she need to go to the hospital. That's how bad her head is hurting. So the next morning is Sunday. She getting up to go to church. He said he got some work to do and he gonna go see his homeboy. She said okay. But before she go to church, she look over at the counter and she see that there's a credit card bill there. Now normally she say she don't pay attention to no bills because that ain't none of her business. But this time she said, let me look at this bill. She looked at the bill and guess what? That same name was all up and down that bill for the last 30 days. Charges straight to her. And she was like, wait a minute. If this is going on for this month, let's see how long it's been. So she pulled out all the old credit card records for the past 10 months and was looking, and boom, all up and down those 10 months. Her name. And she's like, what is going on with this? At this point, she hasn't seen her yet. So when she called her husband, he don't answer. So she called the homeboy, and he's like, oh, he not with me. And then, so immediately her husband called her, sorry about that. I had stepped out for a minute. What's going on? So she said the girl name again. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. She say the girl name again. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, you know what? We're going to come home and talk about it. She said, that's right. Come home. You're going to come home and talk about this. And he comes home and she says the girl name again. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Why you keep saying this random name? And she keeps saying it again. It's like a standoff. And finally he said, okay, I was with her. She said he looked so relieved that he finally said it out loud. And she said, so what, this your girlfriend? He said, yeah. He said, so how long this been going on? He said a couple years. She said she started crying. She was feeling all devastated. And he was like, look, I don't want no divorce because I don't want nobody to fuck up my money. And she's just crying. She's devastated. Her brain hurts. They still living in the house together, remember, walking around and stuff like that. And he's like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to leave her alone. And she's like, well, look, you know, we need to talk this out. And he's like, look, that's what it is. So she called her homegirls and she started telling her friends, because she was planning to go out with her friends to the Atlanta Falcons game. But she was like, how's she going to do that when she's devastated? And she called her friends and she told them what's going on. And they was like, what? They was all hurt for her, just sad. You know how friends be. And they was like, well, let's go look. So they go to Instagram. They looking for her Instagram account and they find it. And she's looking at the girl. She's like, wow, she's so pretty. She's so young. I'm never gonna be pretty like that. I'm not young like that. And her friend's like, what you talking about? She done got fillers on her. She got a wig on, like, you know, she ain't even all that. In fact, she kind of look like you. And she was like, that girl don't look like me. She's young and beautiful. She blaming herself. And then she was like, well, at least they don't have no pictures up and down her Instagram. And then one of her friends was like, well, we did find one and sent it to her. And there was this picture right here. So she was just devastated. Like, I cannot believe this man I've been with for more than a decade. Like, look, this is how he repaid me. Like, are you serious? And she just hurt and devastated. She ended up going to the hospital because of her headache and everything. And she and him sit down together again, and she asked him, you know, look, what did I do? You know, I tried to keep myself up for you. I tried to be a good wife. I don't know what I did. And he told her, it's not you. You are a good wife. but I can't tell you I'm gonna stop seeing her. And she's just crying and she's so devastated. She's like, well, maybe we need to just go somewhere together, sell this house. We need to move away and we could work on this and keep it going. He tells her, maybe I need to go away for about 3 to 6 months so you can think things over. So now she's like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I got to do something.